it's talking about these people living in the territory of Zebulun and Naphtali, but the people who are living there are Jews who are living amongst Gentiles. And there's some details there that I'm not sure everybody necessarily pays attention to. Zebulun and Naphtali are two of the 10 tribes of the northern kingdom that was taken away by, as you said, taken away by the Assyrians and essentially dispersed into the nations and effectively destroyed. The people living there are not from those two tribes. So even though they're living on land that did belong to two of the 12 tribes, it's not their land. So they're technically still living in exile. And when they built the second temple, when Moses and Aaron build the tabernacle and they dedicate it, God shows up and has a conversation with them. And when Solomon fulfills his father's dream, and despite God telling them not to, builds the temple, when he dedicates it, God shows up and has a conversation with him. And part of that conversation is, just because you built this thing and just because I showed up doesn't mean like you tell me what to do now. Like this is not actually my house, but I will deign to be here. And then after the exile, when the two southern tribes are unexiled and come back and they build the second temple and they dedicate it, God doesn't show up and God doesn't say anything. It stays empty. And then there are all these other people who should be down there with them in that land, but no, they're up in this land that really belongs to someone else. One of the problems, I think, you talked early on about us coming from other traditions when we were younger, and the emphases that are different in each tradition, and making adjustments in how we think about the world and how we see the world and how we see the faith, as we try to embrace the new tradition that we've entered into, that we see as being the church. We can, especially in we're currently in a post communist oppression reality. We're still in many parts of the Orthodox world. We're still in a Muslim oppression. We can look at the world around us and say, my gosh, like the world just gets worse and worse every day. And like look at the situation we're in, and we can make that desperate enough that the end justifies the means. That things have gotten to the point where we can do whatever it takes to get people into the church, or at least do whatever it takes to get people to stop doing the wrong things, rather than, well, shouldn't I really be focusing on all the wrong things I do and meeting God? How I will stop doing those things is when I meet God, right? And instead, we can get into this sort of very besieged mindset. And I think this is a big part of why we wanted to do this series. Of there are a lot of people in American Orthodoxy who feel besieged.